I just wanted to say I'm using the frequencies. I mean, I've been using them for a long time and I use them every day. But I'm using them, I notice, a bit more in certain ways post, well, I don't know if we're post lockdown now, but just having been spending a lot of time by myself in an environment that's of my choosing, and now coming back out into the world progressively more, it's, my system is sensitized, and I'm aware of that. So I've been using the wellness frequency at work. I've had to be going into a building that is, would normally have an impact on me. It's not a building that has, ventilation, or there's a lot of EMFs, a lot of equipment in there, and I'm just feeling that impact. So I noticed that when I first started going back in there. I also do a fair amount of kind of speaking in front of large groups, and so I've been using the exam and interview frequency just because I'm more sensitized than I was maybe a couple of years ago. The other thing I wanted to say was that I've always found and continue to find the frequencies, particularly the RTLFs, SRTLFs, useful for when I'm, practice doing other practices. So I did an online family constellation workshop, and they're powerful even online, but given the amount of people, given kind of what happens before, after, the kind of broader context, that can leave you quite disoriented, and didn't feel overly good actually on the other side of that. So I always tend to bring the frequencies into other things that I'm doing. That's one of the biggest ways I use them in. And then the other thing, and this is kind of throwing it out to other people, is what I've noticed overall is, I remember, Thrity, decades ago, you said something about strength and sensitivity, and the kind of crucialness of those two things together. And at the time, I was just a bit confused by what that meant. But actually, over time and with this system, I notice I am, much more sensitive. I think possibly we tend to go away from our sensitivity progressively over time as a species. At least I've observed that in many. But this system really doesn't, it makes you more sensitive, but also I feel does give you that strength, which is really vital. And now I understand it, what you said. So I'm really interested to hear from people that have been working with the frequencies for a long time, to find out what their response to that kind of strength and sensitivity intersection is. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
I just want to say, Angie, thanks so much for highlighting this thing about the sensitivity, because it's such a key thing. Sensitivity, it can be very, very painful if we don't have the resources to deal with what we're receiving. And so, sensitivity without strength can just make us feel quite sort of, well, victimy in a way, because it impacts us. And then, but too much strength without sensitivity can make us quite insensitive to others. So having the two together is a really, really important combination, and a real blessing. And certainly the RTLFs and all the frequencies can really help us to remain in that place of being sensitive, but not being so much affected. So really thanks for highlighting that with the frequencies.